What was
people on
that?
the internet, do you like One Piece?
Is
Well,
that
yes or
really
no?
your beginning? Can we try doing this again?
I think that was fine. I think that was great. I think that was an ace, an absolute ace plus.
Okay. Are you
Mhm.
ready?
Are we ready? We're reading last month's One Piece. Well, we're reviewing, we're discussing last month's One Piece and how last month's One Piece wanted to prove so many of my theories wrong, making you the winner of being the better theorizer.
It's me, the wiener. I am here. What's up, squishies?
The elders, probably not real demons who represent power and were in place and facilitate Imu. Probably just people that he gave powers to, satellites of his great ability.
Oh, they can still be demons. They can just be Imu is stronger.
They were probably made by Imu. If that's the case, I was wrong about that most likely. I still think they can swim. I still think they can swim.
We're gonna do this thing, even though I'm supposed to be the one who's unhinged. We're gonna tell people what chapters we're talking about.
What chapters we're talking about?
So we're
we
starting
did
on
previously, right?
What? I think it's 1022, and we're going to 1025.
Yeah, I thought we talked about 22 before, but it might have just been for Patreons.
I feel like we talked about it. Drock gets a purple mushroom.
Drock gets a purple mushroom for sure, for sure.
Editors, that's so fun for you. You know what I think we're gonna do? Even though it pisses some people off and they get all pissed off when I do it.
Yeah, what's that?
We're not going back and forth. You're just gonna draw, and I'm gonna read chapter 1125 to people.
Okay, go for it.
Because that's what we used to.
But shouldn't we be talking about 1023, 1024, and 1025? Or sorry, 1123, 11. Shouldn't we?
We're going to, but we like to be able to read
the most recent. You want to read the most recent chapter to people. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'm
because it's fun.
Big slurp.
We're not going to read them all, but I think we should read the most recent chapter. And I think doing a little read through is always fun. And lots of people like to be read to like their mom is reading them a bedtime story. And if you don't like that, here's what I have to say. You can't always get what you want. Okay, here we go. Chapter 1125, What Death Means. Which come the shit on with what we've been talking about in Undead Unluck.
Talk about Undead Unluck so weirdly well. Like, it is the same concept, same themes.
Literally couldn't have been better. It was the perfect week for this. Get to the Seraphim, to the ships after they're charged up. As for the Sea Beast, weapons, and PX-35, Rob Lucci and Kaku. And wait, where's Stussy? I killed her, says Rob Lucci, wearing sexy bandages, I guess. His pigeon is so on fire. I don't care what I say about Rob Lucci. I'm here for his pigeon every day. What? We are now in possession of what we came for. Saturn, York, Punk's Records, the power plant. With these three, we gain the mother flame, a fire that never goes out. For the present moment, this is acceptable. However, we are so sorry, sir. There were 9 of us vice admirals executing a buster call, and yet we still allowed the Straw Hat crew and Jewelry Bonnie to escape the island. We will head straight after them to Elbaf. Don't bother with Elbaf. If there was a failure to blame this on, it was the colossal failure to envision Vegapunk's broadcast message. And not only did we fail to stop that message, there is the bitter irony that the pirates' escape was aided by none other than the Iron Giant. About 200 years ago. But St. Saturn, we've been ordered to dispose of that thing. If anyone finds out, I'll protect you. Research it. The giant represents the future. It will prove very useful to the military one day. That little past conversation was something quite beautiful. Thank you, my lord, said the goofy-looking scientist. We are endlessly fascinated with it. Good for you, goofy scientist. For 200 years, it never budged an inch until now, when it clearly moved to protect Straw Hat Luffy. St. Saturn, I ask you this as a soldier in the service of the government. If you consider that a failure, that would then suggest that Vegapunk's statement was true. Oh, suddenly the person who says that is finding himself dead. In the air.
I love the brutality there. That Saturn just fucking ices the guy who's... Because to even have it matter whether that's true or not is worth killing you over.
Exactly. And like blood flies out of every part of his body and we hear a cracking sound and then he falls to the ground. Vice Admiral Doberman! Sorry, Doberman, you died beautifully. Get the medical team, now! Vice Admiral! inside the lab. Oh, what's this? Island clouds? Oh no, says the greedy bastard punk, Vegapunk, who Drock likes because he has terrible taste. The
Wait, did I
island clouds.
mention cute freckles?
Oh my freaking god. Stop talking. The island clouds are multiplying. Has the cloud plant gone out of control? It's Edison. He was supposed to be dead. In the Fairbro's face. She picks up a gun. Oops. Busted, says Edison. And clouds are clouding. Damn it, he tricked me. Well, there goes Punk Records, because she shot off the center part of the cloud, which allowed the top of Eggpunk Island to float on up. And what does that part of the Egghead Island have in it?
A brain?
And you know what they say?
People are alive as long as they're thinking, I think is what a guy named Andy says, and he's a zombie.
No. But yeah, I see your point. No, if I only had a brain. You were so close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So all the Punk records in the brain go flying up. Woo! Sacred marriage law. Oh, this part's so good. What does this mean? Was Vegapunk's story true? Where is Akeno now? How will he make good for his failure with Kuma? The world may sink under the sea, but that shouldn't matter to the Holy Land. Shut up, one of you dumb dragon dummies. It's not enough food. I requested beef for dinner, chef. What is this? What is this fish for? Forgive me, my lord. We've run out of... I've never been so humiliated. He picks up a gun and shoots him. Because that's what you do to your chefs.
Yeah, that's
We
the
have
best
a
way.
dear... We don't have enough food. Shoot. Do you know where to get food if you don't have a chef? We have a serious food
pantry.
shortage. Would you believe that yesterday I was forced to forgo one of my meals and a snack? Well, you could just go down to the whatever. What is a prisoner's dying? It's famine. We'll starve. Put everyone in charge of food to death. That's a great idea. That's how to get more food. It's mismanagement. If there's no punishment, the lower classes will think this laziness is acceptable. Oh, it's Moonhead. He is, every time I see Moonhead in the Chamber of Powers of Marriage, I don't usually see Moonhead. But every time I see Garling, you know what I think to myself?
Mac tonight.
Every time. I've told you before and I'll tell you again.
You just only think about Mac tonight?
Every single time I see him come into a place, I go, oh, the shark man. Yeah. Every time, without fail.
Can I tell you what I think about when I see Garling?
Yeah, go ahead.
One Piece does a kind of interesting thing where most of the people who are born with privilege are useless, but those people who have enough natural ambition that they actually want to make something of themselves despite their position of privilege are terrifying because they've had every resource to back and fund that ambition and give them insane amounts of training and advantages when it comes to learning.
Yeah, that's very different than Mac tonight.
It is. His sword does look similar to Shanks's because sword's taste is genetic.
Chamber of Power, Marriage-wa.
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing here, Garling? I'm here on important orders. What orders? From whom? Where's your proper deference, Garling? Know your place. Vegapunk York is henceforth my direct subordinate as I assume the role of Godhead of Science and Defense.
And these guys are all like, so that means,
I feel like that's going to tell me something, but I'm just trying to process it. You mean the world we thrown into chaos on a level we have never seen before? Let us do the utmost to improve it together, my fellow elders. 5 elders. Saint Garland Garling, Godhead of Science.
How ballsy this guy is that he takes into the role of being like my fellow elders, like he's the big shot immediately.
It really feels like he should have come in and been like, well, shit's changed, and instead he came in and said, like, this was the obvious progression. We all knew I was going to be here one day.
Like, the fucking cojones on this moon-shaped man is insane. This dude wildin'.
Like, he gives no shits.
It's so hard to not love this villain.
I have never seen a villain who more walks into a role, because a moment ago they were gods, he was nothing. They were planets, he was just he was a guy who was in the rich upper class. And now he's like, well, I'm just going to walk in and take this seat that used to belong to Spider-Man.
Wait, have we talked about the fact that the Spider-Man is the science god and Spider-Man's a scientist?
It was so bright.
Damn.
So wild. I have no words for it. Dude
Is
just
there a
doesn't give a
superhero
shit.
who's a skeleton horse?
What?
Well, the science god was the Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's a scientist.
Yeah, exactly. We just said that.
Yeah, but is there a superhero that's a horse skeleton?
Oh, not that I'm aware of. You got the Ichabod Crane. Is that a horse skeleton thing that you care about?
I mean, I'm not especially, but I
All
guess
right,
like.
then no. Future Island Egghead. Saint Saturn. What's the matter, Saint Saturn? Hurry, get the medical team. Saint Saturn. What's happening to him? This is an emergency. Nothing must happen to the highest authority in the world. He's sick with something. What do you need, Saint Saturn? That's a pretty good death sound. What do you think?
I think it was good. I think he did a great job.
Yeah, I feel like I really nailed that. And then pieces of him are whisking away, and black oil is around, and smoke is wafting out, and his face is changing into not a good look for him. Have I been great emu? Saturn, why did you allow Joy Boy to escape? Mercy, emu, mercy! I did not know those powers were so nebulous. And then he blows apart and everyone flies. And what lands on the ground? A skeleton, which was really interesting. For some reason in my head, I thought he was going to totally evaporate or like go into a pile of ash, but Emu left the bones, man. That was kind of harsh.
I know you were reading, so you can't, but I'm doing some great art about this right now.
Let me go and look. Oh, damn, man. I was making deading sounds at the exact right part. I also like the idea that it looks like Emu is sucking his soul out with a straw.
The crazy straw, yes.
Is that really what we're doing here?
That's what we're doing here. He's giving him the slurp.
Okay, moving on, slurp boy.
Get him with the sippy straw.
Get the zippy straw out. Crazy straw for a crazy event. So we weren't able to steal the lava phase.
Wait, we can't move on from that. That was so funny. German accent, crazy straw for crazy event is wild, actually. I can't just roll on without acknowledging how fucking funny that was.
That can be a little thing under here. Crazy straw for a crazy event. So we weren't able to steal the lava phase? Damn it, York blocked us. Our mental waves will reach anywhere, though. York still has access here. I know, but it's better than physically handing it over to her, right? Let's work together to manage this genius brain until the day humanity can wrangle it themselves. That will take 500 years. Did you make the island clouds the floating type? Of course. As far as I know, the world knows Vegapunk is dead. Now we can tour the globe at our leisure. But we don't have funds or materials, so we can't invent or develop anything. Hey, that's what friends are for. I just love this. I love that they are all floating up with the big brain, floating around the world. I wondered when I saw this, though, I was like, are we going to have a little wander into, I don't know, a bird up in the sky? We shall see. I'm wondering if they're going to run into a bird that flies around up here in a balloon.
Oh, wouldn't that be interesting?
Yeah. That's my point. We're up here.
How often are we going to have another character in the fucking sky?
Exactly. So you got the weather people, the Weatheria Nation and shit, and they could run into them, and that's fine.
Well, they're planning on running into them. That'll happen.
Doesn't it make so much sense for them to run into Sir Jerkfire?
Yeah, no, I absolutely now think that's going to happen, that they're going to run into Morgans as well. Especially because Morgans has a bone to pick with him, being like, what are you doing taking my fucking job?
Exactly. And then think about who's on right now with Morgans. And so Vivi might jump on over to Brainland.
Yo, though. For real,
and so
though.
I think we're going to have a Vivi movement onto Brainland. Kashunk there. How's that? You look goofy. I didn't know you admired my height so much. Stop it. Make sure you throw out the extra York parts. Kind of wild to just see all the different York faces, bodies, bases, all down that hallway.
Okay, I want to point out, remember when I said it might not be how I'm predicting it with Old Man Stella coming back to life, but you don't make an organ room and then not use it?
Yeah.
I was right. I was
You
right
were
that
right.
Organ Room would come back. Not about
Wait a
how
minute.
it would come back.
Let me make your sound for you. Da 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 ding.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay.
count as a prediction because how I said did not come true. But I did say Organ Room was coming back somehow.
Hello? Weatheria? This is Vegapunk. What do you want? I thought you were dead. Kamabaka Queendom. Ew, no. What's gonna happen? Are we gonna die? Aw, but I don't wanna. I choose life. I'm gonna swim to live. So basically, in the history no one knows about, there was a massive war during the Void Century, and the use of ancient weapons during that war caused the world to sink 200 meters into the sea. Whoever manages to seize the One Piece and become king of the pirates will have that power at their command once more. And we can't sit around waiting for that to happen. So they basically spelled out that the One Piece is the thing that has the, exactly like we've said for so many times, has the ability to One Piece the world again.
Yeah.
They've basically told us that that's what it's going to be, that the One Piece is going to have the ability to One Piece the world again, because they're saying it sunk the world 200 meters down. They're going to be able to have that power in their hands, so they're going to have that power to undo that. A world sinking into the sea, and when you consider that the celestial dragons live at the world's highest elevation on the red line, tequila, wolf, vodka, wolf, rum, wolf, bourbon, wolf, all of those mega structures that they've had slaves constructing going back 700 years.
Okay, the fact that there's multiple of those bridges, each called like Alcohol Wolf, is fuck.
Yeah.
Like, we knew about one of those, and it turns out there's like 6 or whatever. That's
And
insane.
we've seen a few of them before and always supposed that it was the same one.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that there was multiple of those bridges.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. Did not expect.
All of these things now hold a new meaning. He just had to go and say it. No. The problem, Vegapunk, is that not everyone who believes your warning is going to prepare for this looming disaster peacefully. This demands a swift resolution, because it won't be long before the people of the world begin to fight over safe ground. Oh, baby.
Fucking, we're gonna have a world war for realsies, yo.
Oh, baby, things are about to get wild. Dragon is still looking east, you're right. I think he's following his nose. I have to tell you, this section that we not talk about, let's not talk about 22 because we already did it. So
Yeah,
let's start in 20.
We'll start in 23.
We'll start in 23. This little section, 23, 24, and 25, has been freaking fricked.
Oh, we did not talk about the fact that Queen might be Franky's dad as revealed in Vivre cards, but I think we should save that till the end. So
yes.
We talk about the chapters for now.
Yes. Okay, so starting in 23, right after the King Hockey has knocked everybody out, and Oda was like, do you remember when everyone said that you couldn't put any of the energy of hockey inside of things, but Mama Druck said you could? Oh, Mama Druck is right. I just want to say that again. I just need to say that again. It's really important. Yeah, I was talking to Oda, and he was like, make sure you re-mention that. Yeah.
I remember Oda saying that to you. It was actually in the chapter. He said, hey, Mama Druck, remember when you said that? Remember when you said that hockey could be stored in objects? Well, I got one crazy for you. I'm spinning a disc that I think you're going to love.
Did I say that when I was saying that? What chapter was he drawing?
You've been saying that for a while, but I think since like just post time skip, I think you've been saying that hockey could go in food. Was the first time you talked about it being stored in objects in different ways. Look, you say it's a foregone conclusion. You don't remember how many chatters have been telling Mama hockey doesn't work like that whenever she talked about this shit.
And that I was a dummy.
You need to understand, guys, so many people don't understand what implication is, and unless something has been directly said to be how it works for sure, people will constantly be like, that's not how it works.
I have been taking the heat for this. I said,
there's a reason that we feel so much vindication. I know hockey stored in objects feels like a foregone conclusion for some people, but like...
Yeah, and so I said it first in food, and I still want to see more of that because I know that he's infusing hockey into food, and I think we should be showing that.
I don't feel convinced that you're right about that, but I feel like it's likely. I also love that apparently strong hockey can demanifest any of the elders who the other one summoned, basically suggesting that they are not fully there, that they can all
Well,
appear to help each other, but they are still somehow back where they were
but it
also.
felt like they were really there because
They
they were
were,
touching, they were manipulating.
but they were less there. They were able to be sent back. There was
No,
part
I
of them
feel
they
like
left behind.
literally they were there, but they're somehow, it felt like they're somehow still connected to the magic circle that sent them there. That
Yeah.
wherever they go using magic circles, that they are still tethered to the magic circle. And so
Yeah.
the hockey being so strong undoes the tether and pulls them back.
It's interesting. It also makes
That's
it
what it
feel
felt
like,
like.
because hockey can undo devil fruit powers if it's strong enough, it also makes it feel as though what Emu does is either a devil fruit power for them or similar. Like, I like the theory that Emu's the real sea devil, which is why it works like devil fruit powers.
You know what I like the idea of?
Was that?
I like the idea of, I don't feel like I've seen the breadth of anybody's hockey because this hockey is so much stronger, Joy Boys, that I feel like I still have things to look forward to watching Luffy develop.
Yeah, I got that feeling as well. Guys, look what Cricket has done. It's a crazy straw for crazy events.
Jesus God. I heard that the anime people just got to hear Emo's voice for the very first time. I'm very excited. Here we go. Moving into the thing. Having the Conqueror's hockey of Joy Boy, original Joy Boy, be that strong. Also, unlike us, where we can't make batteries nowadays that don't delete some of their power out every single frickin' day and cause it so they can't use batteries in a more effective and efficient way. Frickin' hockey being powered didn't seem to diminish at all.
No. Do people
Tethered everyone
know
back.
how bad large power storage technology is? Like, I think it's not commonly known. Can I briefly do like a tiny tangent to tell people that, because it's so crazy?
What's a tiny tangent?
Tiny tangent's like less than a minute. Guys,
Do it.
what do you think is the way we store large amounts of electricity? You're wrong. It's dumber than that. The reason we can't use solar power and wind power for most electrical infrastructure, and that we should be building nuclear plants for better sustainable electricity, is because our current best way of storing large amounts of electricity is to use the electricity to power a pump, to pump water into a big bowl, and then over the night, when the sun isn't there, pull a cork on the big bowl and have the water come out and hit a turbine to make more electricity. I'm literally not joking. That is literally the best technology we have for storing large amounts of electricity. And if that sounds incredibly bad and like there would be a ton of loss, you are correct. It is incredibly bad and there is a ton of loss. We are really bad at storing large amounts of electricity.
I actually think we're getting somewhere. I've been doing a lot of listening and researching into battery construction, and we're actually getting somewhere.
Well, that's good.
I'm feeling hopeful, and you know that I don't just say that easily. Getting to see also Emmett being blown back into the water, his head didn't come off. Everyone thought his head came off. It didn't. His arm came off, right?
Yes.
Just like Shanks.
You're saying Emmett is like Shanks.
Get a grip. So I feel like we're not done with Emmett.
I could see that. We'll see what's up. I'm not feeling confident one way or another if we're done with Emmett.
I'm not either. But I'm just saying, on a pure, like, out there, flat level, I feel like we might not be done with Emmett. So the part where they discover that the girl you're in love with because you're a dummy and you like York.
I'm not going to say in love with that. You're going too far.
When they have to come up with the construction of their plan to play it and then have to find out that she is the one who betrayed them all over again. That was such a well done and well constructed scene.
It also was a purple mushroom for me.
Yeah, go ahead. Why?
Because I said that the recording was fake and it was being projected from inside Vegapunk's mind. I was half right because I was right that they were living on within the brain, but I was wrong, and the thing that didn't make sense wasn't because the timeline was a lie. It didn't make sense because they wiped their own memory. So I get a purple mushroom here. But it was really cool to go over them having to relearn the betrayal because they wouldn't act convincingly otherwise.
Exactly. That was well done because then they hadn't known it already for a week, so they were still acting on new information when the people came, so they were still in that right level of panic.
Yep.
And then having the doctor having Vegapunk saying to Sanji, like, you gotta let me die, and he's like, that can't happen, and then Vegapunk going, please?
It's very funny.
And he said it in such a like, can I please have one more chocolate bar kind of way? It was pretty amazing. And I liked that whole part of it as well, because then you have that explanation of why it was that when we got there, you had that feeling of hating Egghead Island because it was so empty. And then we find out that the second that he
Yeah.
found out that they sent everybody away. So that was a really good feeling.
I wouldn't say hating, but it did feel too empty. It felt like it didn't feel full of life the way a One Piece island should. But
I don't disagree with you. His head being in that tank, PS Drock, is so disgusting with the
if
hair
that
waving
freaks you
around.
out, yeah, it's I heard Murph Napier say something that I agree with, which is it grossed her out, and she was expecting a big brain in a jar, and that would have been fine. But the fact that it's like a full head and has hair freaks her out more, and I
Yes.
actually fully
Yes,
agree.
that's what I was about to say. Do you know that I haven't spent any time watching a bunch of Murph Napier because I was saving it? Like, you know, when you have a really good treat and you don't want to get rid of it because then it's
Yeah.
gone?
I think once we hit 20,000, we just reach out to Murph and we try to hang out with her because she's done crossovers with smaller YouTubers now since we caught up.
Really? Okay, well, I
Yeah.
think we do reach out. But at any rate, I'm going to start watching her because I think the beginning of the school year and going into stuff that is hard, that's a good treat. So when I saw it, I completely agree. I didn't know other people felt like that, but I saw it and I was like, is that fire coming out? My brain tried to convince me that it was like fire and movement, and then my brain was like, no, you wish. All it is a skull and hair. Oh God, no, 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 no.
If you can't handle the brain, get out of the kitchen.
I really thought we were going to crack the skull open and throw it out and have a brain in there, which honestly, that should be grosser to me, and yet it isn't.
Yeah.
But you know that this is a better way to do it because not only is the brain then in liquid being protected, it's also protected by the skull that naturally grows around it, so it has double protection.
Mm-hmm.
Does he always feel the wet hair? Oh, KP!
Probably. I still think Traffy's power might have been involved, and if that's the case, I think he would. If it was done with some sort of super tech, maybe not.
Yeah. Here's a page I want to read out. They will hound us to the very ends of the earth, and to die anywhere else would be to die in vain. More importantly, Egghead has facilities and tools that O'Hara did not have 22 years ago. I have the means of maximum to reach out of my voice. The closer I get, the darker it looms. Just what is the world's government? If I must die, it won't be for nothing. I'm sorry this had to happen to you. That's silly. We're both Vegapunk and you know it. We're thinking the same thing. The only question, Stella, is what death means. Oh. And
It's
so that is
really
such an
interesting.
incredible tie-in to the part of Undead Unluck that we are in.
It really ties into what we've been going over with Undead Unluck lately, doesn't it?
It was wild when I saw that and was reading, because we were reading the things at the same time. I was like, how is it possible that we were at the perfect placement like this? It's so good. And it's also good because they sent his brain up. A bunch of the Vegapunks are still alive, which is surprising and amazing. But to think that the original Vegapunk is just happy to let these other pieces of him continue to live and to do things. And then when they send that up and they're trying to figure out, okay, well, what is death to us? If the brain is separate from our body, what is death? And then I started to say, like, it doesn't negate the idea that a man is only forgotten when he dies. And by a man, I mean a person is only forgotten when they die. Instead, it kind of says, like, is it possible to attach soul to the brain? Is it possible that Vegapunk could have his soul in his original Vegapunk body pulled back in to live within one of the other people? Like,
I think
you know what I mean?
In perfectly well with the theme because if the real death is being forgotten, then what does it matter to cheat physical death?
Yeah, but on this hand, it matters a lot because Vegapunk has put himself into many, many pieces. So for me, I think it's a combination in this scene, which is why I really liked it, that I felt like Vegapunk could be talking both about his soul and his mind and his legacy, because he said, I won't die for nothing, which implies that he wants to put some of the research that he's done and for the better of humanity in the future. Like, he actually knows now about some of the missing time period, and he'll be bloody damned if he doesn't make sure that that information isn't moved on. And so it kind of sits in a bunch of areas. It sits in because the brain is still there, and because other parts of Vegapunk are still there. Do they live on, and therefore he lives on? It does the brain is still alive, so the brain can still think. Is the brain him? It does the can he move his soul over? And it does the he's giving his life purpose, and therefore he is not forgotten. So it does them all.
I feel like Egghead is such an interesting exploration about the concept of death and the separation of body, mind, and soul, and keeps using its sci-fi elements to explore that in unique ways.
I'm not worried about people dying around Sanji, because let's be honest, if we start to play that game, everyone should be worried about being around the Straw Hats, period.
At this point, yeah, pre-time skip, no one died near them. Post-time skip,
everyone dies around them.
Goodbye, Yasui. Goodbye, Ashura Doji. Bye, Izo.
Also,
God.
Also, I was a little confused that they said 200 years ago that the scientists started exploring it, but they said it hadn't moved. It hadn't moved up until blah, blah, blah. So it feels like 200 years ago when the scientists started exploring it, they're not the ones that made Emmett move. They kind of made that clear. And they also kind of made it clear that Emmett moved and not a lot of people knew.
Yeah, they buried the information.
So that, I think, is going to come out in the future, and we're going to find out 200 years ago something really important that happened. And also, time is going to become an even bigger issue. Do you remember when I said time is part of One Piece? Like,
yes, timing is
really important to Oda. It's hugely important to the story.
Yes.
Well, it's going to become even bigger, because the gun that's on the table right now is time. And we have had, oh God, what's her name? The chick who moved 20 years into the future and then created the blah, blah, blah.
Toki.
Or into the past. Toki. We had her Toki be able to move through time and to create a thing that allowed others to move, Lady Toki, to move people 20 years into the future. Time and time skipping and time movement have not been accounted for yet. It's been a side piece in a story. And I think that it's either going to be, we're going to move into time skipping, and the dimensions are going to kind of have a collision of events, and we're going to find out some interesting things. Also, I noticed that
I'm sorry. Can we take a brief pause to acknowledge that this is the image someone saw of chatter, a first-time chatter who just said, I saw One Piece in the title and clicked. This is the first image they saw of our channel.
Oh my God. What was I saying before you interrupted me? Oh yeah, I remember. It was worth it. It's funny. So it says 6 days ago, they say the kingdom of Lelusia is gone. The details are unclear as of yet, but it can only be an omen. So they say the kingdom of Lelusia is destroyed. They didn't say it is, they've been killed. They didn't say it's been evaporated. They said gone.
I know where you are the lead developer of Dimension Piece, a theory that dimensions matter.
I'm not the lead developer. I'm the creator of Dimension Piece, but I also want to tell you
Dimension Piece Media Inc. Incorporated.
But I also want to tell you that I think that there's something going on here too. Like, it could be being moved through time. And if you do that, it could cause like a major problem, because all we know is they have one of the weapons. We don't know what the capability of the weapon is. And we assume, as people who hear the word weapon, that weapon always equates death. But weapon can be many things. So now that we know that the government is using a weapon, the weapon could be putting it into a dimension, absolutely, but it can also be causing a blank in time. And that would also explain why there was a great big gaping black hole under it, because there's kind of a problem with a hole belonging inside of time, and it could have been pulled out.
Someone said that they're looking forward to the One Piece of Political video. How do you feel about promising to do that next week? Because I think I'm ready to do the first stream where we just talk about what it means to be political media and Luffy.
First of all, you need to be a good host and work with the thing that I said first.
Yeah, chat said a thing. Okay, Dimension Piece. So
no, not just Dimension Piece, time, Drock. what is a black hole? A
I've been
black
thinking
hole.
about this. I've been thinking about
Yeah.
this. I don't know how, but I think we're onto something. I think we're onto something where
You didn't listen to time properly because listen,
no.
this is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you are moving a giant object through time, you are evacuating it from the time that it belongs in. You are creating a black hole. And
But I don't
that's
know
what
if you have to be
exists.
creating a black hole, but I think you're locking it. Like it doesn't feel like a black hole. A black hole would be sucking everything, and it feels just like
But
there's
it
an
could,
empty
it
space.
is. It's sucking the
like a
water down, and
locked-
we don't know where the water goes, but it's not going away.
I don't know. It isn't going. There's something here that we're missing. I don't know if it's a black hole.
That's the other thing I'm trying to say is there's two of these that we know of right now in the world. There's the one that the original one that we have in Annie's lobby, and there's this one. The water is going into it. We can see that clear as day when we look at the images.
And yet the water is coming out because the sea level is
And yet the
rising.
water is staying on the land because it's not changing the depth.
The sea level is rising, not lowering, so the water is coming out. It can't fill the hole. It is going in and
Which would
out somehow.
say that the water goes up when those things are created. Why? Where's it coming from?
I think what we need to see is if it's going to stay stormy and cloudy over Lelucia forever, because it's staying sunlight above Annie's lobby forever. Annie's lobby is locked in a time. It has been locked in the time.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We need to talk about time. Because Annie's lobby is locked at a certain time when this occurred. And then the water, I think, went up when Annie's lobby happened. Now, Lelucia's happened. He doesn't say that Lelucia is destroyed. He says it's gone. The water went up when that happened, not down, which would say that water is coming from somewhere else into this, and it is locked in a time period. So time is taking on a deeper meaning.
Wait, the islands being gone is important.
Yes.
No. In another way. Hear me out on this. Someone in chat just said they feel like there should be more holes than there are if they've been doing this a lot. Okay, sure. Hear me out on this. Obvious answer. Your immediate answer to why we don't know about more holes is you don't sail to them. Why? Well, there's nothing there. You don't go there. Where do you sail in One Piece? Where your log pose points. If an island were just blasted, people would still find it. It would still connect to log poses. The log poses would still take you there. It's actually important that they're being fully removed, because otherwise you would be brought to these empty holes where the islands were destroyed by log poses.
Yes.
There's something through there. There's something in this.
That's what I'm saying. So there's two elements working it here, and this is what I keep saying. Time is going to come back. Time has always been really important to the story. And then we had a time shifter. And now we have two holes that we know about that are locked in time. They're locked in a time of day. We don't know if there's any more holes on.
But we don't know if Lelucia is locked in time. I feel like we could have so much confidence in our theorizing.
I'm saying we're about to find out if they're going to be locked in time. We know that Annie's lobby is. It's sunny there no matter what frickin' time of day it is, no matter what the weather outside of it is.
Which my old theory was that it came from a battle between an awakened light fruit, glint fruit user and a dark fruit user. But I think that's dumb because the hole is clearly caused by the weapon, and I think the hole in the sunlight should be caused by the same thing for good theory craft, which is why I think Dimension Piece has legs, because it explains both.
I don't think there should be 200 holes there. I think that it was a making of a red line.
The red line could have raised the sea level a lot as well. What if it's sending them to the red line? What if it's just popping them over there?
I had the idea already of what if the islands were added onto the red line.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's what the holes represent. I think it's a specific weapon. It was used once and once only in an Annie's lobby time, and now it's been used again. Or it was used in a different way that created the red line.
Yeah, we know different worlds exist, and yes, One Piece Film Red, from what I understand, which was more written by Oda than a lot of One Piece movies, went out of its way to include a lot of the alternate dimension devil fruits.
And I think the dimensions are all attached, as I said. So I think there's a whole thing with the dimensions, because we know there's so many. Well, let's look up right now. There's so many different fruits that have dimensionality to it. So let's think. What are there?
We got the swamp fruit, the dark fruit, the mirror fruit, the door fruit, the hammer fruit, or the pocket fruit. Sorry, he just used it for a hammer. What else do we have, guys? Not counting Film Red. We haven't seen that yet.
Devil fruit.
The jacket fruit is not. No, jacket fruit does not count as a dimension. I think I got most of them. Book fruit. The book fruit. That was important.
The book fruit. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Door.
The door mention we've been over before. Yes, the mirror dimension, the swamp dimension, the dark dimension,
Mostly
the
got
book
it,
dimension.
actually.
I think we got them. I think I listed all of them except for the book fruit. I made the image so
The
much funnier.
pocket fruit, the poke no mi?
I brought that one up. I said that. I said the pocket fruit. Bonnie's fruit does not. It has access to alternate futures, but it doesn't, like, although it might count. It might count. Maybe count. It maybe count.
This is interesting. I just went in and yelled at ChatGPT, and then it argues with me that the mochi no mi fruit is a dimension, because it says during his fight with Luffy, he can manipulate the mochi into his surroundings to engulf others and then pull them into what seems like an alternate space where the mochi is. Well, it's not a true pocket dimension in the strictest sense. It does seem to have the ability to trap them within a dimension.
ChatGPT is just trying to cover its ass, honestly. I think it got
I agree too, but it's going the mirror fruit, the
I'm telling you though, I have a theory that goes with Dimension Piece, that I like the idea that there's an alternate world and that the matter that Logia's conjure is pulled from that world. And that's why Vegapunk hasn't been able to recreate it, because it's using a process that he doesn't understand, that it's pulling from this other world. It's pulling ice, light, electricity, lava from a pocket dimension.
See, and this
same with some Paramecias.
But that's the same with the swamp, and then in a way that's kind of like the mochi. It's able, that would also be like mochi, then able to create mochi from nothing, to expand from what wasn't, blah blah blah. Yep. Interesting. Anyways, my theory is we're going to have to wait and see what happens in Lelouch. I'm hoping we're going to see that it's also locked within a time. We are going to see so much more about time in the future, because we have just touched the surface of time being used. There's no way in hell it's not going to become a more important thing. No way in hell.
I agree.
So we're going to come back to it. And I think that there is something about locking the space around that area in time and then also in dimension. So I think it's twofold, and twofold.
Space-time's a thing. If you lock something in alternate dimensions, you are in theory locking its time as well.
Exactly. But I think it's going to be fascinating.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to talk? I mean, for this section, should we do our top 3 favorite characters?
No, wait, I'm not done, so don't even bother.
Okay.
Are you trying to sign off before we've talked about a few things?
I didn't know what we hadn't talked about is all.
Well, I'm super excited.
You sounded definite, and I had nothing left I needed to touch on.
I'm super excited about the stuff coming out, because I think we're about to see some exciting times with Usopp.
I am excited for Elbaf. I think Elbaf is going to be a good time for Usopp. Then again, everyone thought Egghead would be a fun time for Franky, and he did nothing.
I think we're going to see a whole bunch of things, though, because Usopp made a prediction that he'd killed 700 or fought 700 giants before. Do you remember?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was a lie that Usopp made a while back.
And we do need Usopp.
I think it was 800, actually.
We do need, he does like 8 as a number. We do need Usopp to do something significant, because it has been since Dressrosa, it feels like, that he had a big glory moment.
Because he did. I have 8,000 followers. I once defeated a giant that was in when he was in Syrup Village. I could shoot the flea off a dog's back at 50 yards. This is true now. I have an army of 10 million men, so that's about to come out. I went to the bottom of the ocean. He did that. I became a hero of Elbaf. So I think he is going to become a hero of Elbaf. And I defeated 800 giants. He said that in Ennie's lobby. When he was Sojourning, he claims he defeated 800 giants during that. And so I think we're going to have a Usopp getting strong, training, somehow getting a wild strength, fighting with giants, defeating giants in some way, and becoming a hero of Elbaf.
I agree. Also, chat, I know Franky's been goated for support this arc, but I mean, people thought he'd be like center of attention. Robin has had more plot significance than him and Egghead. No one was expecting that. But I do think Usopp's going to get some glory in Elbaf.
I'm not done.
Okay.
He also made a lie where he said, I have superhuman strength.
That one Huh.
So I was looking at Usopp's lies, and he has these lies that all tie into each other. I have superhuman strength. I beat 800 giants. I became a hero of Elbaf. Those
What is
three,
that gonna look like?
those three work together
I
can
think they
actually
could.
have him make a super strength glow up in Elbaf.
I'm excited to see what that looks like. I want him to get a Mjolnir so bad because he loves giant culture. Giants are Norse in this world, and he uses hammers, or at least used to. I want him to get Mjolnir so bad. Give the boy a Mjolnir.
All right, I don't hate it. I'm just saying.
Oh.
I'm just saying, for sure, we're about to see Usopp level up in a crazy way. I really feel like we are going to have a really awesome Usopp moment, and I can not wait for it. I have been calling this the second Usopp said that he would love the Giants. I was like,
wanted him to go to Elbaf. The whole
no,
fan
but I
base has been
said
crazy.
I didn't say I wanted him to. I said we would. I remember I have a thing that said when we were on Little Garden, I said we're going to Elbaf.
You know, Androck, how do you feel that Saturn died an old man on a boat? With the vice admirals trying to save the old man on a boat. Holy fuck.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Garp was the old man on the island, and Saturn was an old man on a boat, and Garp
No, I was
survived.
really glad that you mentioned it because I have that in my pictures when I clicked it and I forgot. Thank you so much, Raze.
God, that's
because
so
in the
good.
beginning of this arc earlier on, we saw
first half or second half of the arc, you were insistent on it, yeah.
Yeah, I said like he has to die, blah blah blah, because he's the old man on the boat.
I felt like he couldn't die. I felt like he was too important. You win again.
And you said no, he's too important. And I said, but he's the old man on the boat that Garp is talking about. Garp is the old man, and so is he, and he has to die. I get a better gold star for that. I get a good gold I think star. I get a shooting star.
That's not a shooting star. Shooting star is about how long it took. That was, you predicted it like a couple months ago. Like,
okay, well, it's not.
I don't think it's not diamond.
I don't think it's a diamond star, but I don't think it's a gold star to predict that one of the planets.
How about it's a gold star and then it has sunglasses on it to be like, this is a cool one.
It is the first big prediction since I caught up.
It is. It is your first big ongoing prediction, and it's very impressive. It's a really good one.
Because I was like, this dude's got to die. He's an old man in the boat.
Meanwhile, in this second of chapters, I got proven wrong twice. So, like, you're killing it.
I don't know what to tell you. Just wait until Undead Unlucky is a video game.
It's not going to be a video game. It's going to be a manga because I'm going to win that one. I'm going to be...
Just wait.
You've seen how in sync my brain is with that author. I think if there's anywhere I have a chance to be the better predictor, it's Undead Unluck.
I just waited until it's a video game.
Manga.
Okay. The other thing that I loved about this one, I took pictures because I always take pictures of the things that I love to talk about. Boop, boop, boop.
Okay.
There we go. The giant said, and this was really an interesting play on words. It's true. They're all knocked out when they were talking about the hockey because one of the giants was like, whoa, that's insane. Like, this was so strong. And he goes, it's true. They're all knocked out, Captain. No kidding. Was that even stronger than red hairs? Okay, that's an interesting question that tells you how strong red hair Shanks actually is. And then there was no hostility to it.
Interesting. Well, that's because it was an act of protection, right? It was there to protect only.
But that also says that each one of the hockeys that is used has a emotional flavor to it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Luffy's always been able to read the emotion of hockey, right? So it makes sense.
Yes, but we've never talked about it, and the story has never talked about it before. So it now makes me wonder, because that's a gun on the table, what we're going to find out about the emotion that's linked to hockey, and is hockey stronger when it's done for a good reason or for the good of others?
Well, I think it's will, so I think it's how much you value something.
Intent. It tells you that hockey has intent. Thank you, Legit. That is the synthesis.
I think that's the thing we've been talking about for a long time now, where the idea of observation hockey is how you see the world. I think your conqueror's hockey is how you choose to change the world, how you choose to take on the world.
Yeah, but he's making it explicit in a way that we're about to find out that if you really want to beat something terrible, you actually have to focus your hockey with the right intent that that will change the strength. Yeah, I like this will for others and will for self, because that's the entire intent of it. Is it feels like knowing that hockey can still improve, hockey can still strengthen. We're about to see stuff in people. It also explains why the old Peanut looked the way he did, and then when he got to use hockey in the right way and rebuild for himself, that his will was strengthened not just because he was using hockey, but for the reasons that he was using hockey, and that changes so much. So I think there's going to be so much more to hockey. What do you think? You're not talking.
I'm considering. I think there's going to be a lot more to hockey. What it looks like, I think, is going to be interesting. I think something that people don't think about enough with hockey is how much it already is in the series a reflection of who someone is and how they use it and exercise it. And it's often treated as just like any other power system where it's just what magic you have. And I think that aspect of it reflects who you are is really important. And I'm curious to see as it goes. Like, I think there's no world where Oda, it keeps things as simple as the exact way we think of things is how they are. So I'm excited to see. I don't think there's a world where you're not right, but what that means, I think, is the interesting part.
Oh, that's what I think too. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing what it means, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it's an impact in the way that our team beats out the other teams at the One Piece time. Yeah. Oh, and I can't wait to be proved right about Nami. Your wife sent me a thing that was like, does Nami already have hockey? And I would say yes. And I would say yes, she is going to be one of the ones who is going to have Conqueror's hockey.
She also said that to me. Oh, excuse me. We'll see. I think it could be cool. I think the entire crew could have Conqueror's hockey, honestly, or at least the original Straw Hats who were recruited in the East Blue.
If Conqueror's hockey could be used to override a body's will to die, oh, wow.
Oh, people were saying about the elders being propped up by Umu's Conqueror's hockey, which could be crazy.
Nami is going to have all the hockeys. I live and die by the fact that we haven't seen the full strength. When we went through, and if you guys didn't see it, for sure watch it when it comes out on YouTube. We went through and talked about the relationships of the different Straw Hats to each other, and we found out that some Straw Hats literally have nothing, no relationship.
For example, I'll bring up the pick I did for that one.
So shocking. But
bringing up this pick I did for that one where I pointed out a Straw Hat pairing where there's just nothing.
Yeah, when we went through that, what I realized is Nami is the one who has the most relationship with every single Straw Hat. And then I started to think about what that means for her and for hockey. And then your wife sent me that thing, and Para put it here. That's how she beats up Luffy, because Nami is one of the only ones who actually makes a physical attack on Luffy, and it shows up as bumps all over him. Other people fight, and it doesn't come up that way. So I think it should be interesting. Also, I think some of the characters in the Straw Hats are being underplayed for a reason, and I think we're going to have like pump ups, and it's going to let us have people pop off in a way we didn't expect, so that we still have something surprising and engaging and mind blowing to come up. So I really think we're going to have some massive glow ups or changes within our Straw Hats.
Something I want to talk about before we go today, also that I remembered, is I've been watching Grand Line reviews of villains lately, and how a lot of villains in One Piece felt like the perfect antagonist for an arc, and then after that arc felt like they couldn't live up to it. Like Jack, for instance, was great in Zao, and then afterwards fell off. And Big Mom was great in Whole Cake, but in Wano didn't really fall off, but like had to play second fiddle because it was a story about Kaido, so she couldn't take the stage like you wanted for her. I am so glad Saturn got to be one of the best antagonists we've ever had, and then die that way. He died on top, and he's gone. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Don't we love?
I like that his character died. I also like that his character died because it says how fast that can happen.
Yep, you fail Emu, you die. Rest in peace, bozo.
So there's a couple of cool things about it. Number one, that he gets to stay the badass and then just disappear. And number two, that he died and changed what it looks like for the rest of the piece. Okay, go ahead.
Before we do our closing, people really, really, really want us to talk about the fact that Queen might be Franky's father. And let me just say, people care too much about familial relationships. It just doesn't matter.
Oh, it does matter.
think
We're
it's
gonna
neat.
find out who Luffy's mom is. We are.
I
We
think it's neat.
absolutely
I think it's neat if
are.
it's true, and that's it. Like, it makes sense. They both sing and dance and are cyborgs. Like, cool.
I
Fine.
don't hate the idea,
And we know his
but
parents are piece of shits who abandoned him. So, like, makes sense.
also makes sense. But I can't wait to meet Luffy's mom. It's gonna have a major impact on the story. It's gonna be freaking wild, and I'm super excited
Probably,
about
but
it.
I hope it matters because she did something cool and not just because she's Luffy's mom.
No, it's gonna matter because she did something cool. It's gonna be a huge thing, and I am predicting now that Luffy's mom existing within the story and us finding out is gonna be like story rocking.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay, here I actually do care about parentage a little because I do like the theory that Robin's dad is Dragon and Luffy and Robin are half siblings.
That would be good.
Yeah. They just understand each other so much that it feels like it makes sense to me. I like that one.
I don't care if it's for Luffy or not. That doesn't matter. What matters is that we, the audience, meet Luffy's mom.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter to Luffy because Luffy knows who matters to him, and that's the people who raised him.
I'm disagree with you, Rams. We will Luffy's mom will
Yes.
100% matter. Doesn't need to matter to Luffy. Will matter.
I agree with the person who said it will matter to Dragon, not Luffy, and I think that's the right way to think about it.
And I don't even care. I'm just super excited for it to happen.
All right. So should we do top 5 because multiple chapters or top 3 like we've been doing for single chapter reviews? What do we?
Multiple chapters get a top 5.
Okay.
You want a top 4?
I mean, it's somewhere between an arc and a chapter, isn't it?
I mean, I guess I'll give you that. Let's do 4.
Top 4. Top 4 coming at you.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Out of these chapters.
Out of these chapters, these
most interesting.
Most interesting, the ones you like the most.
Like the one that I think is the most interesting. I don't know if you will agree with me.
I'm curious.
Okay, we're gonna have a tiny. I just gotta open Shonen Jump again because I like to make sure I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Meow. Garling.
Oh, I'll give it to you. I want to disagree. It wasn't what I was thinking, but I'll give it to you. I think you're right. Sucks. Fucking sucks that you're right.
Yeah, I went back through just to look.
We forgot to talk about Kizaru popping off against Akainu. Look, I'm sad.
I thought we talked about that before.
We didn't. I'm sad that Kizaru didn't break yet and he didn't abandon the Navy, but I'm glad that he told Akainu off and was like, I just killed my best friend, you fucking bastard.
I love the scene so much, and for me, I think it's just short days before he leaves.
Yeah.
It's just setting up my theory that Luffy in particular, Straw Hats in general, are going around and empowering people with agency who are then able to see the evilness of the institutions that they're working for and will eventually flip sides when it comes to the right time and help to draw everything together.
I agree. I think the big thing that'll stop Kizaru is he needs to know that Joy Boy's message was real. I don't think he can go through with it because he's been doing horrible things for what he believes is a greater good. I think if he realizes the government he's leading is doing this, the only way I see him staying is I've seen a theory where Sakazuki, if not Akainu now, is so frustrated with being held back by the world government that he commits a coup and makes the Navy an independent force. If Sakazuki did that, I could see Kizaru not abandoning the Navy.
Yeah, but if he did that, that is abandoning the Navy because it's a separate force. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So no, I could see that as well. I like that feed, but I'm saying, yeah, I like the part where he called him brother too. I'm seeing it being a break, and I saw this as the crack.
That's how I see it, but I genuinely would love Sakazuki cooing the world government. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think he's drunk the Kool-Aid, but it would be cool as fuck, and I would be okay with it. Like. It doesn't feel out of character. It just feels less likely. Yeah,
I still think like it's. I really just feel like he's gonna leave, and Akira's gonna leave.
Okay. So next on the top 5. This is a tough one.
Okay. So who? Why don't you tell me your person picks first? Since I got mine.
I'm feeling a top 2. I'm feeling a number 2 for the collective Vegapunks.
I could see that 100%. I would agree to that.
Like, I was thinking 3 at first, but then I'm like, no, you know what? Who beats Vegapunks?
As a collection, I could see them being number 2. That makes sense to me.
Someone was saying, why can't they all make bodies now? I think that the part that connects to the brain and acts autonomously is more difficult to make than everything else. Like, I think as a core. that like repairing and replacing that is going to be difficult. Like getting them out of the brain is going to be hard. So instead, they have to live through Edison. I love Frankenstein Edison. He's great. Love him.
Frankenstein Edison is a total glow up.
I
Who
thought
is
I figured he'd be dead. I'm glad he's alive.
They're all like alive and
Well,
tricking your wife into shooting them off into space.
Let's not exaggerate my feelings about York. I just like her. Think
You
the
know
things
what?
you do is cringe doesn't mean there's
You
something
can
wrong with
put
you.
all of the characters together, but I don't think you can include Lilith in that. She's in a different
Lilith is
realm right now.
independent now. It's all the other Vegapunks, not
And
Lilith.
I would argue that Lilith is number 5 in a 4-person thing.
Okay, all right, on our 4-person thing.
On our 4-person thing. Okay,
God,
third or fourth.
Garling really kicked ass in such a small little section of attention, huh?
You know who else did?
Who?
You're not gonna like this one either.
Wow, you are confrontational now.
You heard me.
Mm-hmm. Morgan's, huh? I'm going.
If you go back to chapter 1124, and you connect all of the things that he's talking about and how he wants to shape the world, and kind of the way that things are going to move forward in the future.
So that's your number 3.
It would be my number 4. Big News Morgan.
I think number 3 is Emmett.
I would. Oh yeah, I almost want to go back in time and move him to the top.
Maybe, but like I think Emmett already had his best part in 22.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, number 3 is definitely Emmett. But I would put Morgan's at number 4 because he's about to be like why things change so much. And I look forward to him running into the Vegapunk floaty land.
All right. Okay, least favorite character this section. Who do we hate? Mr. Big Slurp. I don't like Saturn still. I think he's still a bad man.
Yeah, he sucked, but he's dead. Who do I hate the most? Mine is Morgan.
Morgan, despite being top 5, I think that's fair. Favorite minor character, Doberman. Way to go, buddy. Way to question the world government.
Oh yeah, without question. Doberman, big highlight.
You died. Shit, sorry.
What?
It was just me reacting to how fast he died after being cool.
Oh yeah, so let's just do this. You and I can give him props. Editors, can you please put in a clapping sound here? Let's hear it for Doberman, questioning Saturn just before Saturn was about to die. You lost your life telling us the obvious thing, buddy. We really appreciate it.
I love that Oda, despite clearly having an anti-establishment agenda, isn't someone that because of being anti-establishment is like everyone in authority is a bad guy. No, he knows some people are in the position they're in the Navy in this world because they think it's the best way to do good. And he has characters like Doberman be loyal because they think that's how they'll accomplish good. And
well, he obviously, because we got our old boy in there being like, oh, Luffy, I gotta stop you from doing things, even though you're the reason I got off the ship and got into my life.
Look, I respect Kobe.
Yeah, whatever. I want Kobe to lose so badly. But live. Please don't get me wrong. Don't go killing Kobe.
Explode. He might not be dead. I think he definitely would be dead if Saturn hadn't have died. The fact that Saturn dies means he has a chance, because otherwise he'd live and Saturn be like, wait, you're alive, and just keep blasting.
Wait a minute, did you live? It's time for you to die now.
Time for you to
die. Drip.
Is yours Frank Edinson?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you an honest truth. It was Frankenstein, but I changed my mind.
I think mine is Garling with his celestial drag with his elder's outfit.
Yeah. Mine is also Garling. I was gonna do the Frankenstein because come up. That's wicked shit. But it's Garling.
Unironically though, not just because I like her. Every time I see York, it is a great design. Like, her face is so expressive and the outfit is really killer, but that's not like a new thing. Garling's got a new look going on with his Five Elders look.
The cape that Garling is wearing says, excuse me, I'm about to cut off your legs.
Are you ready to have the new best elder?
Oh, I'm so excited. He comes in with a real I'm the zaddy of the nation kind of attitude.
Is he gonna turn into a spider? Because if so, that's very funny.
Oh, that would be funny as shit. Hey there, YouTube, it's me, Mama Drock, and you've been watching One Piece, and over there is Drock.
Hi.
And I just want to say things so quickly, almost as if I'm an auctioneer. time to subscribe. Get subscribing up, press the like button, then go inside. When we get to 20,000, we're going to put a thing out to Murphy saying, hey, Murphy, do you want to hang out with us?
That's
so
true.
do the subscription. And then Drock is also going to dress up as Gear 5 Luffy.
God, I forgot
He is
that.
more excited about doing that than you can even imagine.
Mhm.
I have bought him an entire costume for it. He
Really?
cannot wait. Can you not wait, Drock?
I'm not allowed to wait, so yeah.
And then we're going to start doing content with others. Consider joining in for our new manga discussion on Undead Unluck. If you
You
are not
should.
reading it or watching it, you're wrong. We watched it and felt mediocre, but liked it up until about 32. And then from 40 on, we are in. It is an
It's
awesome
so
piece.
good.
We'd love
It's
to see you
so
there.
good. It's hey guys, genuinely, join us for the Undead Unluck read along. It's been so good. Don't judge it by the first 34 chapters. They're
No,
okay.
don't.
They're good. They're
No,
solid. It's not bad, but it's just
no.
holy shit does it get going.
It gets going.
Mhm.
And we are super, super happy to have you. We're going to start going back through as well with content creators. And we're going to go in order, but we're going to find content creators who can tell us what is their favorite arc. And then we are going to go through them in their favorite arc and talk about what is it about that arc that made them pop off.
Which I think
And
I'm
we're
really
going to
looking
be
forward to more and
doing,
more.
in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing a piece all about One Piece is political. So if you want to come and argue, come on into the Twitch and you can have all the fun with us. If not, whatever. I'm going to put in the Discord and come to the Discord. Now that I am in a better place this upcoming week, I think I can start popping into the Discord more often to have conversations. You'll
I'm
find
still
us
a
in
ways
there.
off of that, but I want to come back to the Discord. I've been lurking lately.
I lurk and read everyone's stuff and is like, I want to have fun. You can't go plan lessons. But I'm ready to go back into my Discord and have conversations with people, and I'm super excited. So, anyways, YouTube, thanks so much. Oh, I forgot. Anyone who wants to read Witch Hat Atelier with me, I'm going to be starting it on October 1st. I'm going to get Drock, even though he gets all like, I'm Drock, to make me a little space within inside of Discord so we can just talk about Witch Hat Atelier only. And October 1, the 1st of October, that's the date we start together. Witch Hat Atelier. So if you're either
Oh,
already a fan of
October
it
1st,
or
we're reading Witch Hat. Okay.
not you. You don't
Okay.
get to read it. It's
Okay.
just for other people. This is the one that I picked that I needed to read ahead of Drock. So there would be a manga I had already read that Drock hadn't read, and then we would do it together, and he would read a certain number. And so this is me reading ahead on that. So
Okay.
unless you're Drock, he can't come.
I'm not allowed.
But October 1st, we're going to have a spot inside of the Discord for book chat for Witch Hat Atelier pieces. We'll be creating where we read to next, etc.
We will be doing questions at some point in the near future. Next week, do you think you're too busy this
I
next
love
week to
that
read
way.
Undead
Yes.
Unluck, or no?
Pardon me?
Do you think you're too busy this next week to read our 36 chapters?
No, I could get that done.
Okay, then I think we do Undead next week, and One Piece is as political as the week after.
I would agree. I would also like to do a thing for One Piece, but not yet because there's a whole bunch of different kinds of One Piece things that I want to do, but not yet.
We got a lot of One Piece to get through. We're at this point we can make regular content. We can just do what we want to talk about One Piece, which is great. God, I genuinely, this image makes me happy. It's so dumb. I love it.
This last chapter in One Piece, Oda fed us so well.
Egghead is done. Most anticipated character future. I mean, we're heading to Elbaf. It's Usopp. Everybody's anticipated character has to be Usopp right now.
Oh, my most anticipated character is fully Usopp. I think Usopp is going to
Elbaf?
get like special strength, beat a bunch of giants, and become the hero Elbaf. Like I am holding out for that and that alone.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching, and until next time.
Squish on, squishies.
Lovely talking to you. Bye.